Hello, hello, hey, sweet people. Welcome to another episode of Inglês no Rádio. Before we get started, just a quick word from our sponsors, Cambly. So I imagine that you are spending a lot of time at home right now, which is very boring. It's not fun. It's a difficult time for everyone, but you can make this time a little bit better by improving your English and by talking and making connections with native speakers.
Sim.
And the best way we know how to do that is with Cambly.
Sim.
Take it away, Alexia.
Então vocês já sabem. Vamos lá, Cambly.com, aplicativo do Cambly, vai lá em menu, depois de criar seu perfil, claro, em menu, minutos grátis e coloca Inglês no Cru Podcast. Desse jeito, você vai ganhar sua aula de graça, você vai ficar muito feliz, extremamente motivado e sabendo exatamente no que precisa melhorar. Então é isso, né, Foster? Acho que a gente falou tudo.
Yeah, go to Cambly, speak to native speakers, and let's get on with the show. Hello, hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Inglês no Rádio, a special episode of Inglês no Rádio. I always begin the show by saying, my name's Foster, I'm an English teacher, and I'm here with, and then Alexia says, Alexia. But this time, it's not Alexia. Who am I here with?
You're here with your mom and dad.
Hey, Dad.
Hey, Foster.
Okay, Mom, you're going to have to speak into the mic.
Okay. Hey, Foster.
That's perfect.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'm going to let you guys take it away. Just speak normally. I think this will be an awesome experience for all of our listeners to hear some real unfiltered Southern English.
Well, first of all, Foster, we wanted to tell you how much we've enjoyed you quarantining with us for the last 6 months. But it's been fun.
Okay, so I was thinking I could just give y'all a topic for a conversation, and you two could talk about it. Is that cool?
That is fine with me.
Okay.
Maybe.
So something that I kind of know the story of, but not that well, to be honest. How did y'all meet?
Well, this will be interesting to see if our recollections match up. So it's been almost 40 years. It has been 40 years, hasn't it?
It was 1980.
1980, so it has been 40
40
years.
years.
40 years ago.
40 years, actually, in 2 months.
Yep.
I think.
It's been a great 40 years.
Do y'all know the date?
The date we actually met first, no. Okay, so this is the funny part of the story. So
And if he messes up, I'll correct him.
Laura was a student at Converse College. I was a couple years older, so I was already back in Spartanburg and living and working here. And we happened to frequent the same college bar where all of her girlfriends and all my boyfriends used to go.
So just to take a beat and explain this a little bit. So Mom went to university in Spartanburg, where you are from, where we currently live, right?
Correct.
And you went to Converse College,
Yes.
which at the time was an all-girls school and
Yes.
still is, right?
It is. Well, no, we're actually now gone co-ed.
Co-ed this year.
That
Okay.
means boys and girls.
But just to set the scene, my mom was still in university studying here. Dad had already finished university, and you came back to Spartanburg to work with your father, I presume.
Correct.
Can we call me jailbait?
I don't know what that means.
I was younger. He was older.
I don't know what jailbait means.
Delete
Look
that,
it up.
Felipe.
Look it up. That's a Southern term. But so interesting twist to the story is I was a self-professed amateur photographer, and I had a friend who owned a restaurant. He was my age, still my best friend. Laura and her girlfriends used to eat at Wade's 2 or 3 times a week. And so Hamp said, I'm going to do a little promotion. Can you come take a picture of these girls that come out eating? And I'm going to put their picture in the Converse newspaper. And he thinks that'd be great. So I went out there and we met and we had a little stage. We had them eating biscuits and stuff. Well, one of the girls was Laura. And this was her freshman year in college. This was 1976.
Okay. And just to clarify, freshman year. That's your first year of university.
It was actually in the fall, and Hamp invited us to do this because I had a lot of cute friends, and he was just trying to get to know us better, and they thought they were going to be really cool and set up this photography studio type thing in the restaurant. It was a ploy.
It was a planned strategy.
Yes.
So just to make sure we are all on the same page, Dad finished university and you were into photography. Your best friend had a restaurant and asked if you would take pictures of some pretty girls. And in this case, it happened to be Mom and her friends.
Exactly.
But the good thing about it, in the end, the picture, the photograph, was actually printed and in our college yearbook. So it was legit in the end.
But nothing became of the meeting. I didn't remember them. They didn't remember me. Later I found out that Laura had a boyfriend anyway, so she wasn't.
I had a lavalier around my
neck. Wasn't interested. So fast forward 3 years later.
My senior year.
Senior year.
So my fourth and final year of university.
So you guys met. Dad took pictures of Mom and your friends.
He walked out the door, and that was it.
Clearly, you did not make a great
no,
first impression.
Obviously, I didn't make a very good first impression. We went our separate ways for a couple of years, and I would see them about and about. I knew some of the girls, and they knew who we were, but nobody dated. I mean, we would see y'all at Brandy's. Yeah, but...
Oh, did you?
Yeah, but we never really never crossed paths.
Okay. Mom, do you want to explain what Brandy's is?
Brandy's was our local hangout, and it's like your corner pub, and it was frequented by every single college student in Spartanburg. There was an all-boys school, Wofford College, and I went to the all-girls school, Converse College. So Wofford and Converse met up every weekend at Brandy's.
So it's a bar where college kids hang out.
Preacher kid meets husband in a bar. But
we'll
get to that.
Your father was a preacher, so you are
a PK.
Affectionately known as a PK.
Yes.
Preacher's kid.
So you're fast forwarding to my senior year when I don't know. Oh, we met up back out at Brandy's before the dorm visit.
No, you're missing a very important event. That really, I think, is when I realized that I would like to get to know you better.
When I was out at Brandy's and had too much to drink and was telling funny jokes.
Well, that was one of them. But so Hamp and I, again, his name comes up again. We were really desperate to meet girls, and so we decided with a couple of our other friends.
Don't mention any names here.
We are going to throw a party, and we're going to invite every girl we know and all of their friends to have a roller skating party. And we rented a roller skating rink.
A disco roller skate.
This is 1980. So we rented a roller skating rink Sunday night at 7:00. And all the beer you could drink, and we probably had 100 people. And Laura showed up with all of her pretty girlfriends, and we were all skating around. And somehow we started skating together and ended up holding hands and skating.
Ooh,
and
scandalous.
It was.
Because I had on pink pants and a little white eyelet shirt.
And we had a good time, but everything. But I called her up the next week for a date, and that's kind of how it all started.
Well, no, you have to finish that story.
Well,
we didn't know that we had met in years past. He walks around my college dorm, and my room was on the first floor. And he peeked in my window, and on the wall was this picture of all of us at Wade's when we had done the advertisement. And he looked in the window and he said, I took that picture. I had no clue that he took the picture.
Obviously, she didn't remember.
So just to see if I understand this correctly, after you guys had already met many years before, you meet again, you hit things off at a bar, and then you go roller skating. And at some point, it seems like Dad is just kind of creepily walking around a college campus, looks into Mom's room, sees a picture that you took, and
He was
the rest
picking
is
me up
history.
for a date. He
Yeah.
had to come to the front door. But can we tell about the Chip Bulls version of the? Because you didn't.
So she had.
I met several people the night
Yeah.
of the skating
Well,
party.
little did I know that she broke up with her longtime boyfriend during that same year. So she was suddenly free, and she was playing the field.
I was not playing.
So
the
I
field.
had another friend who was in our circle of friends.
Y'all just like me,
and his
'cause I
name was-
new and different.
His nickname was Homer, and we were out at Brandy's one night, and I didn't know at the time that Laura had gone out with Homer.
I hadn't gone out with
Yeah,
him.
you had gone out with Homer
I
because
went out with him on Friday night and went out with you on Saturday night.
you had
for the
already
first
gone
time.
out with him because we were at the bar and you called me Homer.
Oh.
Do you remember
I
that?
do.
So,
So to go out with someone is to date someone, to
date
go on a
someone.
date.
We actually, when we were in college, I don't know if everybody does that anymore. They ask you out on a proper date, and they would call you up on a landline and say, "Would you like to go out to dinner?" And it would be dinner and a movie, or
Nowadays, you just jump on a Zoom call.
So our first official date was, so this is spring of Laura's senior year. So she had exams, and I asked her out. She says, "I can't go now because I've got to study for exams." And I said, "Well, how about taking a break?" And she agreed, and we met at the Sugar and Spice. She took a study break, and we ate hot fudge cakes,
we split a hot
fudge
cake.
cakes, and a glass of iced tea, and that was it. That was our first date. And so then I called her after her exams, and we had one official date. And I pulled out all the stops too. I took her to the tea house at Lake Lanier. Oh, it was so romantic.
Tell them what we ordered.
And it was a neat place. And I thought
back up. We got to tell them the funny part. Dad had what was called an RX-7.
oh yeah, it was a cool.
It was a
sports
cool
car.
sports car, and it had a moonroof, sunroof, or a top that could come off.
sunroof, yeah.
You normally say sunroof, right?
Sunroof, yeah.
This one was different.
Uh-huh.
You could see through it. It was glass, but you
But
could either tilt it up or you could take it off completely.
Right.
So he thought he would be real impressive. It's a beautiful drive up into the mountains for dinner. And he pulled over and was gonna pull off the roof so the moon would be shining through the car. It'd be all nice and romantic. He couldn't figure out how to do it.
Yeah,
And
I'd
I
never
finally
taken
figured
it off.
out maybe it really wasn't his car. It was just
It was. It was. It was a cool car.
Okay.
So we get to the tea house, and I thought I'd be real cool and debonair, and I ordered the fresh rainbow trout.
Debonair.
Yeah.
Quite a word.
It is. Yeah. And your mom ordered a steak, which I thought was pretty good. And when they brought my trout out, it was a full head-on, eyes looking at me trout.
It was the
And
whole fish.
The whole fish. And I had never eaten a whole fish before. And Laura's sitting there munching on this beautiful steak. And I'm having a hard time with this
we
fish.
had to cover it up with some
Yeah.
parsley.
I actually put my napkin over his head so I couldn't look at his eyes when I was eating him. We laughed about that. But we had a great first date. I got to admit, it was a great first date. And I thought
after dinner, then you took me back to
the lake.
And he had chilled wine on the boat, and we had probably 11 o'clock in the evening little sunset cruise around the lake with a bottle of wine.
Wasn't that? I mean, that's pretty good for a 23-year-old, don't you think?
It's very romantic.
Yeah, it was.
And I did. I woke up my roommate when I got back to my dorm and said, I'm not sure if I will ever see him again, but I think I want to marry somebody just like him.
Well, there's nobody just like me, but
Well-
so I got stuck with him.
At the end of the day, she did marry someone exactly like him.
Well,
That's our
the
story.
challenge after that was she graduated from college and moved back to Columbia, 90 miles away.
Which is an entirely other story that we can definitely tell. But I think that's probably a lot of really intense English for most of our listeners.
Intense Southern English.
Yeah. I mean, just imagine Alexia listening to that conversation.
She would get it.
She would get it 100%, but she would have a lot of questions. Like,
Well, good. You
What
want
does
questions
munching
from
on
your
mean?
students.
I didn't realize. I thought I was trying to be real careful not to use any words that.
that was awesome. Anything else y'all want to add?
The rest is history. 40 years of wedded bliss and 2 wonderful children. Life is good.
Cool. I agree. We should do it again soon.
All right. Thanks
I
for
will.
having us.
Thanks, guys. We will talk to you tomorrow.
Love you, Foster. Love you, Laura.
Love y'all too.
Love you too.
Muito obrigada por ter escutado mais um episódio aqui do Inglês de Necrorádio. É muito bom ter você juntinho assim de nós. Faz muito, muito carinho no nosso coração, digamos assim. Então você que está interessado em saber mais sobre os nossos produtos e saber mais sobre a gente, o que a gente oferece para vocês em relação a estudo, a challenge, a curso, vá lá no inglesdenecro.com e você pode ver mais sobre as worksheets, por exemplo.
Yeah. If you want to really improve your English, if you want to learn more about the ways you can do that and just connect with us on a deeper level, go to inglesnocru.com. And as always, keep up the good fight.
And lose well.
See you guys tomorrow.
Bye!